We know a structure can be analyzed as a static analysis or as a dynamic analysis. And if we see static analysis, is that analysis the load, applied load or applied force is to be constant. And load also do not change its direction, and also the point of application load also remains the same. Okay, so if that load, if the load satisfy these conditions, that means basically you are applying the load in a particular point and loading direction is always the same, and the amount of load is also constant, and then we can say that is your static analysis. But in many cases in real life, you will observe that we apply the load slowly. When we perform a static analysis, you will observe that we apply the load very slowly and we measure the displacement. Okay, so this type of load, here you can see the load is changing with time. The load is not constant. Okay, so there is gradual change of the load with the time. If the load changes with time slowly, okay, then that type of analysis we can say as a quasi-static analysis. Okay, so in this quasi-static analysis, what we make sure that due to the applied loading the structure is not subjected to acceleration and the velocity. Okay, there is no acceleration and velocity in the system due to the applied loading, then we can say that is your static analysis or quasi-static analysis. So here you will observe that static analysis and quasi-static analysis normally used interchangeably. Someone say this is static analysis, some say this is quasi-static analysis. So I hope you get the clear idea that what is static and what is quasi-static. So if we consider a static analysis or quasi-static analysis, okay, you will observe that we used to satisfy these conditions where Kx is equal to F. So we know that general dynamic equation of equilibrium can be written in the form of mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to ft. Here you can see displacement, velocity, acceleration and the force all are function of time. Okay, now if there is no acceleration and if there is no displacement, then we can write kx is equal to ft. That is basically our static solution. Okay, other way you can say if you observe that your kinetic energy in the systems is very low in comparison to internal energy, then the structures is to be in static in nature. Okay, if the kinetic energy is low in comparison to internal energy, then we can say that structure is static in nature. If kinetic energy high, in that case you can say the structure is dynamic in nature. Okay, now what we have learned that we can satisfy, we can use kx is equal to f equation for our static solution and for your quasi-static solution. Okay, so in the quasi-static solution, that ft is to change gradually with time, and we used to solve this equation. We used to solve kx is equal to f equation several times with increasing loading to get our displacement quantity. So at the end we can plot load versus displacement graph. Okay, so the graph, if you plot load versus displacement graph for static analysis and quasi-static analysis, both the cases it should be the same. Okay, if a system is linear zone, if a system in the linear zone, in that case your static analysis and your quasi-static analysis should have the same load displacement graph. Okay, so now if you see that how we can apply the load, apply quasi-static load. Here is the one type of load is a ramp type of load. So ramp type load is that load where load is ramp type load where load or forces is increasing proportionally with time. Okay, forces is increasing proportionally with time, that is your ramp type load, and another type of load is your smooth step type load where forces are changing very smoothly, very slowly. Okay, so here you can see now if you see a dynamic force, so dynamic force basically is that force when the applied force changes suddenly or forces changes its direction. So here you can see if we have a force, if you have systems, for example this cantilever system, and you are applying this type of step loading at 0 time there is total load, at t time also there is total load. Okay, then we can say that is one type of dynamic loading. Another type of dynamic loading is your pulse loading or blast type loading. Okay, pulse means the load is to apply for shorter duration. Load is to apply for shorter duration. So here you can see at 0 time there is no load, but at certain time there is a load, and this load or the forces exist for shorter duration, and after some time there is no load again. Okay, so this type of load is now under a non-periodic loading. Okay, now if you have a periodic loading, for example your sinusoidal force, okay, if you have a periodic loading, in that case you can see this load is repeated in nature. Okay, this load is repeated in nature. So this non-periodic loading also can be converted to a periodic loading, but that should reappear after a certain interval of time. Okay, so this is basically dynamic type loading. Okay, now if we have a structure and if you have impulse type loading, the response we used to get, that is your basically transient response. Okay, this flows when is occurring due to sudden excitation, sudden non-periodic excitation, then this type of response we used to call your transient response. Okay, okay, here you see this is your one periodic loading, and if you also can generate this type of periodic loading by using MATLAB coding, or if you use that find element software, Abaqus software, you can also see that if you give two coefficient as your a sin omega t plus b cos omega t, so there you have to define the two coefficient a and b, and also you also have to mention the frequency. Okay, if you mention the frequency and the magnitude, you can define a periodic loading there. Okay, so there's two way, either you can write the code by yourselves and you can copy paste that force versus displacement data. You can copy force one in your Abaqus amplitude as a tabular form, or you can give your input data. If you have some random data, in that case, if you have data corresponding to your earthquake excitation, then you cannot generate that data. What you can do, you can copy the data, okay, and you can paste it as a tabular form, and you can see how the structure is going to behave. So in this class, what we are going to do, we are first going to analyze the system as a static systems, then we try to perform a quasi-static analysis, and then we try to perform dynamic analysis. Okay, with your non-periodic loading, with your non-periodic loading, another your periodic loading. Okay, and we will see how the structure is going to behave, how the kinetic energy is is coming to the picture, how, and we will compare the kinetic energy and your internal energy, and we will see that in case of static system or in case of static analysis, we will have internal energy which is very high in comparison to your kinetic energy. If kinetic energy is very high in comparison to your internal energy, then we can say that system is your dynamic systems. Okay, we'll see that we'll see how we can obtain all the things in your standards of. Here I will use Abaqus. Let's go to the problem. Now here we will model a beam and we will see how to perform static analysis and how to perform dynamic analysis. Okay. here we will use a 1D bar element, okay, but you can use 2D cell element, you can use 3D solid element. Thing is that it will take more time because number of degree freedom will be high for solid element and the cell element in comparison to your 1D element. High in the sense 1D element will take 1D bar element will take less number of element to give converge result. Okay, if you see cell element or solid element, it will take large number of element. It will take more number of element for your convergence. Okay, so here we will perform static analysis and dynamic analysis using your 1D bar element. Okay, so here we will consider 1 meter long beam. So first coordinate is 0, 0, second is 1, 0. Now we'll press escape button and we'll click done. So this is your 1 meter beam, and property will provide for steel. Okay, so here initially we want to perform static analysis, so we'll give property only Young modulus, that is your 200 GPa, 2V9 and yttrium Poisson ratio, and this is your beam. Fine, cross section dimension we need to provide. So cross section dimension we will consider A as 50 mm and depth as your 10 mm, and we will assign the cross section and the metal property to this beam. Here we need to provide beam orientation if we use 1D element. We'll click OK. Next we'll go for assembly. In the assembly we will create instances. So here we will create dependent instances and we will mesh on part. Okay, so now we will go for meshing. Meshing, here you have to select part for the meshing. Now here I select number of element as your 50. I hope this will be sufficient for our converge result. Next, what we have to do, we have to define what type of analysis we want to perform. Perform static analysis. So here we will select general static and we will accept the default value. Now here we have to define loading and the boundary condition. So here we will apply concentrated force, that is your 10 Newton. Newton minus is for your downward direction, and here you can see this amplitude is RAM. So now we will define the boundary condition here. So here we will apply fixed boundary condition. So here you can see we can use Ancaster option. Now here you can see we have defined part, we have defined property, we have defined assembly, we have defined a step also, we have defined loading and meshing also. Okay, now we will submit the job. That is your static. Okay. Now we'll submit the job. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to perform dynamic analysis. Okay, here you can see if we want to perform static analysis, in that case there is no need to provide your density. Okay, because if you see the dynamic equation of equilibrium, that is your mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to force So mass and damping contribution is not there, so we are not providing your mass density or damping. Okay, so here only you provide stiffness value. We have provided E value, which will calculate stiffness matrix for the beam. Okay, now if you want to perform dynamic analysis, then you have to provide mass density, and you also have to provide damping if you assume there is a damped systems. Okay, if you want to analyze as undamped, then there is no need to provide damping. there is no need to provide damping. Okay, so let us see the result for static analysis. So this is the displacement. Here you can see this is the displacement u, that is your 4 e to the power minus 3, that means 4 mm displacement will be there. Okay, now if you want to plot force versus displacement, then what you have to do, you have to go to step. If you want to plot your force versus displacement graph, okay, in that case you have to first create two node. We have to create two node set. You have to create two node set. Here displacement node set. Here we have only one node, so we have selected only one. If you have multiple node, in that time you have to select multiple node to create the set. This side there will be reaction. Now once you define the set, now you have to go to the step, and here you have to go to history output, and then you have to request for your displacement. Okay, so here we are requesting displacement at the node set of displacement. And another request you have to do, that is your reaction forces, okay, at that node set of reaction forces for the node set of RF. Okay, now what we can do, we have to submit it again, and then we will see how we can plot it. Now job is completed. Here we can see how much displacement is there, u2, that is 4 to the minus 4 mm. Now here you have to click on create XY data, and then ODB history output. Then here in RF you will write RF1, because this is our first static analysis, and then displacement, that we will write as a displacement 1. Now what we can do, we can go to operate on XY data, and then here we will select combine, then minus sign displacement, and double click on RF1. Okay, now here you can see this is your force versus displacement. Okay, so at 10 Newton force we have 4 mm displacement. Okay, now next what we are going to do, we are going to perform dynamic analysis. Okay, or you can say here we will select dynamic explicit analysis, but we will perform quasi-static analysis. Okay, so here what we can do, we can delete this option. Okay, we can delete this option. Now here we will create your dynamic explicit. Here you can see we have dynamic implicit. In the next video we are going to discuss what is the difference between dynamic explicit and dynamic implicit. Okay, for the simple problem both will give the good result. Okay, but there is some cases where your dynamic explicit is very suitable, and in some cases dynamic implicit is very suitable. That we'll discuss in the next video. So let us select dynamic explicit for this case. And now since we have deleted the step 1 and then again we have created, okay, so here in history output also our request will be deleted. So what we have to do, we have to again create history output. Here again you have to select set, and then again RF, and again you have to write your, then again you have to select RF2, you have to request RF, you have to request for reaction force, and again you have to create for displacement, and you have to request for displacement. Okay, and again we have to define the loading, since we have deleted the step 1 and we had defined loading and boundary condition on the step 1. Since we have deleted the step 1, so both loading and boundary condition is automatically deleted. We have to again define the loading, and here we will select this node, and then here we'll write -10. Now here you just see this is your instantaneous type of loading by default, but here we want to define the load as your smooth step loading. We'll define the load as a smooth step fashion. So here what we are going to define, we'll define 0 and place it 0 at time 1. Our total load is 1. Okay, 1 means that our full load, this case is 10. Okay, so here your load will increase in a smooth step fashion. Okay, so here you have to select amplitude 1, and next you have to define our bonding condition, so n cluster option. Okay, now here you can see in the step we have defined dynamic explicit, and in the loading we have defined the load as a smooth step. Okay, so though we are choosing dynamic explicit, but we are solving this problem as a quasi-static fashion because our load is very smooth step manner. So now we will see what are the displacement is coming. So here we have to give the run, right, dynamic, then you can write continue it, and now you just submit the job. Now you have to wait. Now you have to wait. Okay. You see the error. What is the error? It is saying no density. Okay. Since we want to perform dynamic analysis, we need to provide the density here. Okay. So we go to the general and density for the kg per meter cube. Okay. Now we have defined the density also. Now we can give the run. Now job is completed. Now again we will see how much the displacement. Displacement is almost same. Now here we will see that load deformation graph, load displacement graph. So here we will select RF2 and we will save it as your RF2 for your second run. Here you can see the reaction force is changing in a smooth step fashion. That means our loading also changing in a smooth step fashion. In Abaqus, we cannot select that particular node or your loading node, and you cannot get the forces. Okay, so here we have alternate way. Alternate way is that you have to select the boundary and you have to find the forces acting due to the applied loading. Now here we go to U2 and you will save it as U2 for second run. Okay, now here you can see displacement also changing in a smooth step fashion. Now here we go to operate XY data. Okay, we go to operate XY data and then we'll go to combine, then minus sign. Here U2 and your RF2, and we'll plot it and we'll save it. That's your smooth step. We'll save it as smooth step, and first one we'll save it, this one combine minus, sorry, combine minus displacement, okay, and RF, and plot. Here we'll save your, here we'll save it is your static. Okay, now what you can do, here you can see we have selected static and smooth step, and we are plotting force versus displacement. Here you can see both the result are same. Okay, so though in the first case we have analyzed as a static, and in the second case we have analyzed as a dynamic explicit, but we have applied the load in a smooth step fashion so that it resembles a quasi-static analysis, and we have observed that both the cases we are getting the same result. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to change the type of loading. Okay, so we'll go to the load, and here instead of our smooth step fashion, what we are going to do, here we select instantaneous load. Okay, and we'll run the program. Okay, so now we'll run the program. Here we'll change the name, okay, dynamic only, dynamic 2. Okay, now we'll submit it. So here we have submitted the job where our load is as instantaneous. Here we'll see the result. Okay, so now what we can do, we can go to history output and we can see how the discussion look like. Here you can see due to the instantaneous loading, now we have the description pattern which is dynamic in nature. So here we will write, here we will save the data as your U2, or you can say write U3, because this is our third analysis. In case of static analysis, our strain energy, or you can say our internal energy and kinetic energy, you can plot. So here you can see that kinetic energy is very low. Kinetic energy is very low. For static analysis, our kinetic energy is very low, 0. Okay, since we have done static analysis, our kinetic energy is 0. Okay, and here we have our dynamic analysis where we have applied the load as instantaneous, and we have got our kinetic energy which is quite high. Okay, which is high. Okay, which is high. Okay, next what we can do, we can change it to, again here we can, in that step we can change it to your, in the loading we can change it to your smooth step fashion. Okay, and we can compare our dynamic smooth and we can submit the job. What we are going to do, we are going to compare the kinetic energy for a smooth step type loading and compare the strain energy for dynamic. Compare strain energy corresponding to smooth step and instantaneous loading. Now here again we are going for result of your smooth step function. Now here we want to see kinetic energy and internal energy. So here you can see that your internal energy is quite high in comparison to kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is almost 0 for your smooth step type loading. That means your analysis is static in nature because your kinetic energy is low. Okay, now here if you see, that your dynamic result, so here you can see kinetic energy and internal energy, you can plot it. Now here you can see that kinetic energy is also quite high. Okay, and this is basically due to your dynamic nature of the forces. Okay, now next what we are going to do, we are going to change the loading, okay, as per our sinusoidal loading or our impulse loading, and we'll see how our structure is going to behave. Okay, what is the displacement pattern for different type of loading? For example, your dynamic, for example your sinusoidal loading or impulse loading. Okay, so next we are going to do that part. We are going to do that part. Okay.